Hey, all right. Thank you for clicking, and big thank you to my subscribers out there. Okay, so today I'd like to talk about the Native American medicine wheel and the age of Aquarius. And if I talk quick, I'm sorry, it's because I'm trying to cram a whole lot of stuff into a 15-minute video. Actually, less than that, because I got to try to show a clip at the end. And I only get 15 minutes to do it because I don't show child porn. So until I do, which spoiler alert, I will not, but until I show prepubescent boobies on my channel, I only get 15 minutes. Now, it's going to be one of those videos where I draw stuff and write stuff, and at least somebody or one or two people like to criticize my kung fu grip that I hold my pen with. Well, do what you got to do. I really couldn't care less. Oh, that diamond got really away from me there. But anyway, this is the Native American medicine wheel. Alright, that's supposed to be a diamond right there in the middle. I got this camera stand right in the way, the tripod right in the way, so I don't have a... I'm not going to make excuses. You can make fun of me. It's fine. Anywho, yeah, so it's really the square and the circle. It's the Masonic compass. The X represents square, which is the square, which represents space, and the circle represents the compass, which represents time. And we'll get into this diamond here in just a minute. But it's also, this thing, there's 7 different ways, at least 7 different ways. We're going to focus on 7 different ways of looking at this thing, okay? So it represents the north, the south, east, and the west directions. That's your news, okay? The news is the 4 sides of the square. That's our space. And then imagine it on its side, and you're looking at it from its side. So there's up, and then there's down, and then the diamond is within. That means inside. That means within. It's really no different than this either, than that symbol. It's the same thing. Okay. Now, this also, so we're going to talk about this thing representing a whole bunch of different things. So there's 4 colors associated with this. It is yellow, white, black, and red. Okay? And each one of these sections affects the other because it's all connected by this circle. You've heard you want to be a well-rounded individual, right? Or if you're lacking in something, you need north, east, west, south. You need what? Direction. Okay? So the 4 colors, because this represents all the races of the people. The white, European, black, Africa, red, Americas, and yellow, Asia. The brown is in here because that's where the Spaniards came to the Americas, so that covers them too. So this is all, it covers the whole races of the world here, and it's also the earth, and it represents the 4 elements. So we have fire, air, earth, and water. Okay? Now, I want to make sure I got a couple notes here. Make sure I got everything. Yes. Okay, so this accounts for all the stuff on the outside. All right? But this also represents you too, as everything does. This is all, that's what as above, so below means, is inside and outside. So now let's talk about how this is you and how this represents you inside. Okay? Still suck at that diamond, don't I? So here is your spiritual, or your soul. Here is your mind, or mental. Here is your physical, your body, and here is your emotions, or your heart. This is the same thing as Plato, except for Plato doesn't have the emotions. Alright? So, all of these, like I said, every one of these affects the other. And we see this every day. We're just playing a big game of lost and found. We live this out every single day. What we do is now, and for the majority of people, that's what we're trying to get to happen. Is we're trying to get people to utilize the kingdom within and to realize that they can do this stuff themselves with the help of God and your higher spirits, or your higher self, or the higher mind. You know, whatever you feel comfortable with. That's what we're trying to get at here. Because now all of these things, we rely on outside forces to manage them for us when we, that's the diamond, want to be in control ourselves. So your spirit is controlled by, the priest or the churches or the clergy or whatever you want to call it. The mental, That's your mind. That's controlled and manipulated by the teachers and the government, right? Because that's what government means. Govern means control, and ment is short for mental. It literally means mind control. And your physical, your body, is now controlled by the doctors instead of natural medicine and doing what have you like that. So now it's controlled by the doctors. And physical physician comes from physica, which is Latin for science. So there's your science, here's your spiritual. And then your emotions and your heart is all controlled and manipulated, or not necessarily manipulated, but a big factor in all that is your family and friends. And I don't know about you, but I get a lot of drama from both of them, and I try my best to manage it. And so that's what we wanted, is to be able to know that we are in control ourselves of all these, not all this, not just go to a doctor, take 2 of these, and call me in the morning. Or a priest, hey, say 10 Hail Marys and then you're better. And that's what the Native Americans, they really had it right, where whenever you were sick, you prayed for your spirit, you meditated for your mind, you used natural medicine for the physical, and you really got in touch with your emotions to find out what was wrong with you, because they just thought it was all because you were imbalanced. That's all it was. It was just an imbalance. One of these is off, the other one, it causes a full imbalance issue. And we've talked about the god Baal, right, which is duality, the split. That's the horn god, that's the 2 pillars, that's all that stuff. That's short for balance. And we see this in hospitals when they have the chapels, because when people get sick, sometimes they start feeling emotions like what? Fear, which then leads them to, what happens after this? Am I going to heaven? Am I going to hell? Or you go to school even. You go to pep rallies to raise your fighting spirit to affect your physical performance. This stuff is all right here for everybody to see, okay? And it's funny that we pretend like there's not some spiritual world or some sort of world that we can't see, even though we obviously deal with it every single day, whether we go to school or a doctor or whatever the case may be. And the funniest stuff when you go to the hospitals is they're all sitting there with the cube symbol, or the caduceus, which is just the same thing. It's the duality, it's the pillars, it's the male energy, the female energy. It's all the same stuff. So all this stuff is ruled by the same symbol, but as a whole, society is trained and manipulated in mind control to think it's all nonsense. It's pretty humorous, although it's sad and tragic all at the same time, but we're all here to learn, and there's nothing, no one can tell you how fast you're supposed to be learning anything. It's no one's place to tell you that you should know better, or that you should be here by now, or anything like that at all. We are all on our own path, and we are all walking it the way we're supposed to, how we're supposed to, when we're supposed to. Okay, so one more thing. I get this all. I did cover. Yep. So, this is also in the stars. Okay, so let's do one more here. Okay, we're on the 4th phase of the sun wheel, the sun disk, this thing, the 4th time, the last time until a whole new wheel starts. Okay, so this whole our story, right, started in Africa, as we're told, which was Taurus. Then it went to Asia, which is Aries. Then it went to Europe, which was Pisces, which that's where Christianity, the home of Christianity is, right? In Europe, the Vatican. And then the Americas, this area, is for Aquarius. And that's the new age. That's the 5th age, Aquarius. Okay, so it's an air sign. Aquarius, if you look at this in astrology, Aquarius, sorry, it's a lot I'm trying to cram in here. Aquarius is an air sign. And that's why the Native Americans wore the big headdresses full of feathers. They knew about this. All this is just a power. It's this power bouncing around all over this reality, all over this plane of existence. That's all it is. And you have people who know about it and people who are trying to make money off of it and are trying to control people with it. And that's what happened. Like, at the end of the day, that's what happened. The Indians, or the Native Americans, knew about this stuff. And the conquerors, the Fey Jews, Saturn scum, Masonic, Jesuit order, Islamists, whatever you want to say, they are trying to control and make a dollar off this stuff, make money off it, and they don't want a bunch of people who know this stuff out there spoiling their surprise. They've hijacked this stuff. That's all this is about. It's just a game of control. A very, very, high risk, high stake game of control, but that's what it is. So, Aquarius, an air sign. That's why you see all this stuff with I'm going to talk about meteorites and asteroids. I don't believe in them. I really don't. But that's what history says and these prophecies say and all of that, right? And the Native Americans, like I said, I got a little off there with their headdresses, their feathers, the air symbol. That's why their god they used a lot in symbols was the plumed serpent. It's a feathered serpent, literally. That's why we're told it's going to be something that comes from the sky, right? Asteroids, meteor showers, Nibiru, Wormwood, Planet X, whatever, alien invasion, right? Christ himself is supposed to descend from the clouds, all that shit. It all comes from the air, which is Aquarius, which is an air sign. Flying cars, for crying out loud. Okay, so America is this big sacrifice to this new age of Aquarius. And Native Americans knew that no matter what world war or monetary system, they had nothing to do with anything. It wasn't going to change, stop, slow down, nothing. This stuff was going to destroy itself and be reborn no matter what system was in place. Because this place was not made by man. That's all there is to it. And it's no coincidence, right? The Americas, the same continents, right? The same continent, specifically America. That's why that solar eclipse, man, coming, I really think that's like the marker that, okay, you've been warned that this place is about to be sacrificed to the age of Aquarius. So America in 1492 supposedly was discovered. Okay, now I don't think this is random chance, random coincidence, whatever you want to call it, that in the same year over in what is now France, this thing called the Ensign meteor happened. Same year as 1492, same year that America was discovered, quote unquote. Over in France, across the pond, right, the first ever meteor was seen and then recorded. It's still there today. All these secret societies come out year after year and do rituals around this thing. It's total bullshit. You can look it up online. That thing is fake as shit. I don't care what anybody says, but I'm just saying that that's what history says and that's what's in the books. So the same year that America was discovered, this big sacrifice at the age of Aquarius to the air, there's the first ever meteor falls and is recorded, is recovered and kept. And they worship that thing, for crying out loud. And then also on top of it, remember where the very first flight ever took place? America, North Carolina, Kitty Hawk. No coincidence, no way, no way. So that's why the saviors, the aliens are going to come from the sky and flying cars and all that stuff I've already been through. Because it's all about, it's air magic now. And some Native Americans knew. Check this clip out. It's from like the last episode of Fear of the Walking Dead this season. They were talking all about it. They've been talking about it the whole season long. All right. Thanks to everybody.
It's all part of a grand plan. One that's been taking place before the dead walked. You know what apocalypse means?
The end of the world.
No. It means a great unveiling. When I started collecting relics to save them, I kept seeing a theme. Petroglyphs, cave paintings, tanned hides. Prophecies of what we're going through right now. The dawn of a new age, when the land will be shed of the impure